Biomass is a helpful parameter to measure for cover crops in your field. When you collect information about biomass, you can determine how much your field is producing in that specific season or time frame. You can also compare biomass between cover crops to determine which one produces the most in your area. This practice can also be used to determine biomass for field crops or for weeds. Okay, I hope you're ready to start collecting biomass. For biomass collection, you will need a square meter. You can make these at home out of whatever material you may have available. This one is made out of irrigation pipe. You will also need good clippers or a knife, a scale, and a drying bag. First, place the square meter in the field randomly. This can be done by tossing a pen and then placing the square meter where the pen lands. Or you can take a walk down your field and randomly stop. Take a sample there. Do not look for an ideal spot or a place in the field where crops are not growing well at all. Cut the plants on the border of the square meter outline with the clippers or a knife. Make sure not to pull the plant into the square meter. It should be left exactly how it lies. Make sure to cut any plants rooted inside of the square meter at the base of the plant where the stem meets the soil. Next, you want to turn on your scale. Tare the scale if it is not reading 0. Make sure that the scale is reading in the units that you want to use. We are going to use pounds to make it easier to convert later. Now put your biomass on the scale, making sure it is not touching the ground or any other object. Record the number shown for the biomass on a data sheet. Now, put the biomass into a sample bag with a label for which sample it is. You want to repeat this measurement at least 2 more times for each crop in the field in order to capture some of the differences in the crop growth across the field. You can also take the biomass data about the weeds in that same square meter to better understand how the cover crop controls weeds in your field. The steps are the same as we followed for the cover crop biomass. You will then want to dry down these samples in a dryer. You can also dry them down in a shaded, warm area that has good ventilation, like near the roof of your home. Okay, let's go figure out what this sample means on a larger scale. Most biomass is recorded in dry weight per unit area. This is most often seen as kilograms per hectare or pounds per acre. We will convert to both so that you understand how to. Say we had a fresh biomass of 2.8 pounds per meter squared. Again, remember that meter squared that we used in the field. After drying down, perhaps the dry weight was 1.6 pounds per meter squared. To get to pounds per acre, all we need to do is multiply by 4,047 meters squared per acre, which makes the 1.6 pounds per meter squared equal to 6,475 pounds per acre. To get to kilograms per hectare, we multiply the 1.6 pounds per meter of dry matter by 10,000 meters squared per hectare and by 0.45 kilograms per pound. This cancels out the units on the top and the bottom of the equation. Doing this with our data point, we get 7,200 kilograms per hectare of biomass production. You can do this same practice with the weed biomass. Now you may be wondering, what exactly does this number mean? What does it tell me? Well, this number is an indication of how much that crop was able to grow in the soil and climate condition you had during that season or that time frame. This can also tell us how much we may be leaving as residue in the field. These residues can either be tilled in or left as mulch on top of the soil in order to break down slowly. In leaving or incorporating residues, you are helping build soil organic matter, improve the soil structure, and increasing your water and nutrient holding capacity of the soil. Taking biomass data is a great way to assess the crop performance in the season you grew it by comparing what you experienced with what others who grew it experienced in their context. It's also a great way to compare different cover crops to better understand what grows best in your context.